Yo, what's up guys, I'm Yannick from the Producer School, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create the perfect stutter vocal effect. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to achieve this effect, each with its own flavor and style. Whether you're a beginner producer who's just starting out or a more advanced producer who's looking for new tricks, these techniques will definitely help you create this nice stutter vocal effect, which has been used in so many tracks this year. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let's dive straight into this. The technique behind the stutter effect is a so-called gate or tremolo effect. These effects have already existed for years, and what they essentially do is that they modulate the volume of an audio signal, and in this way you can create a choppy or rhythmic effect. The stutter effect usually works best for sustained sounds, like this vocal, which has a long sustain. This is the vocal that I'll be using in this video. It comes from our latest pack Omnia, which is the ultimate modern dance music producer pack, including vocals like these, project files, samples and more. And the project file of this video is also included in that pack. The first technique I'm going to show you is the most easy one, and that is by adding a plugin that lets you modulate the volume of the audio signal. You can also do this with an automation clip and draw in it manually. But to make my life a little bit more easy, I'm going to add the plugin called Growth Beat from FL Studio itself. And then I'm going to select the preset 1/4 beat gate over here. And that already creates a stutter effect. So the shape you see over here is basically a modulation of the volume of this vocal. This plugin has quite some nice presets, like faster ones, slower ones, or a more trance-gated preset. But let's stick to the simple 1/4 beat gate for now. As you can hear, it sounds really choppy and it has some nasty transients. And we can fix that by using the buttons over here, which says attack and release. Let's increase the attack to remove some of the nasty transients. Makes it smoother. Not too much. And let's also tweak the release button, which is also cool to like automate. Makes it less choppy. And the volume knob in the bottom left corner works as a dry wet knob, so you can lower down the wet level of the gate basically. And you can use it for automation purposes. If you don't have access to the Growth Beat plugin, there's also a free plugin from Kilohertz, which is called Transgate. It's in their free plugin bundle. Let me open it real quick. There we go. It's called Transgate, and it's doing basically the same thing as Growth Beat. Also has the sustain and release knobs, which you can use. And it has some nice presets, like this one. And this effect together with a drop can sound like this. The second method I'm going to show you uses a less fixed rhythm. Instead, it uses an LFO to create an automation of the volume, and in this way it moves more freely. To do this, I'm going to add the plugin called Fruity Pan-O-Matic over here. This plugin allows you to add an LFO to the panning or the volume of the signal. So over here in the LFO section, you have 2 knobs. One of them is the amount, and the other one is the speed of the LFO. And we're going to automate the speed to create an interesting effect. On top you have the LFO shapes, which I will show you in a bit in how they are. Each are different for the sound. And then over here you can choose if you want to automate the panning or the volume. Let's set it to volume for now. And it will create this effect. To make this way more interesting, we're going to automate the speed of the LFO, which will sound something like this. Let's create an automation clip for the speed. Create automation clip. And let's create a shape that I like. I want it to go like really fast and then slow down. A bit less. Something like that will do. Do the same here. This is just a matter of trying different things and then finally come up with something nice. And with the other instruments. You can also change up the LFO shape. Right now it's set to sine, but if you set it to square, it will sound more choppy. But I like it more like smooth with sine wave. And then the third method is the most advanced one, and that is triggering the vocal with a ghost channel. This basically means that there will be a signal, which in this case is the ghost channel, so it has no sound, which will trigger the vocal to play, and in this way you can create unique patterns with MIDI notes. Let's first create the ghost channel, and I will be using a snare for that, which can basically use any sound, something like this. I'm just going to use the MIDI file of the bass for now. And let's copy that into the snare, which sounds like that. The sound of the snare will be muted in a bit, but let's first add the snare to a mixer channel, just right next to the vocal, like this. On the snare channel or the ghost channel, we're going to add a Fruity P controller, which is this little plugin over here. And then we're going to add a Fruity Balance on the vocal channel, which is basically a volume knob. We're going to trigger or modulate the volume knob with the P controller. To do this, make sure to right click it, then hit link to controller. And then for the input channel, select the snare channel and then P control peak like this. Hit accept. And now this volume knob will start moving when I hit play. Like that. Let's mute the snare channel so it's just only triggering the vocal and not playing the sound of the snare. Like this. It's still really low in volume, and that's because we have to tweak some settings in the P controller. We have to drag up the volume knob here. And let's also increase the bass level. And now the MIDI notes of the snare over here are triggering the vocal to play. You can also create different patterns, like this. And in this way you have full control on how the vocal will be played. Let's add a sidechain on top of this and see how it sounds together with the rest of the drop. That can sound a bit like this. It can go really crazy with the MIDI notes and create interesting patterns that the vocal will eventually play. And that were the 3 techniques that you can use to create the famous stutter vocal effect. If you have any questions about these techniques, then feel free to drop a comment and I will try to help you on there. Make sure to check out the sample pack that I used in this video. It contains a lot of sounds like these and really cool vocals as well. For now, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.